Welcome everybody, it's tractorchute here, and we got ourselves another great game for the good old day of Monday on this Labor Day long weekend. In the upper left hand corner, it is PrimeBityBit. PrimeBityBit will be playing as the red Terran. In the lower right hand corner, it is Valon. Valon will be playing as our good old blue Zerg, and we are sitting on ourselves. I do believe Akalon Waste is the name of this map, if I remember correctly. It is an always cross-spawning map, so it should be a fairly interesting game. And we will sit back and give a little good luck, have fun to start this baby off. 8 p.m. sitting ourselves 113.31. Little bit of a gap there, but either way, can't really judge complete skill level as far as 8 p.m. goes, but you can probably put a pretty good estimation as to which player is a higher skill level with that kind of APM. But who knows? Like I say, you could ride 7 APM and be the best player in the world. Probably not, but it could happen. So we're going to sit ourselves on our nice little 10 drones. No pool yet. Might be looking to go hatch first or maybe do a 13 pool. Who knows? But he's going to sit there and get his overlord scouting across the map is Valon. And we are going to get ourselves a nice standard wall off for PrimeBityBit. Very well done, PrimeBityBit. Overlord is coming across the map here for Valon on the other side as well. So he's going around both sides of the map here, trying to get the old outside angle for those good old Overlords. And we are going to get ourselves a scouting SCV. PrimeBityBit says, no, I'm going to finish that wall off. So he will get that wall off finished. And there we are. It does look like we are probably going to go with a hatch first type build there, as he is set to go to the natural. And there's the hatch first. Pretty standard nowadays, especially in the higher end leagues here. I do believe this one is one of them is Masters, I do believe here, if I do remember correctly of what I was watching. And the other one was not ranked, being PrimeBityBit not being ranked. So PrimeBityBit will move his way across the map here. He's going to head right into the opponent's base, and he will scout that hatch first, which should tell him that he is safe to plant his command center down if he chooses to do so. Or he could look to put a little bit of early pressure on, depending what type of player he is. And apparently it is going to be early pressure, so we are going to drop down the bunker. And over here, we are going to get ourselves the good old spawning pool out. Spawning pool will slowly finish itself off here. He's going to try and rally those Marines down the other end of the ramp here, or other end of the map here, to get into that bunker and hopefully delay this hatchery. But it will be very, very close depending on how quickly this spawning pool goes. And of course, you can't speed the spawning pool up, so he might be a little bit late. It is actually going to be very, very close and interesting to see how this works out here, as it's going to be very close timing on when that Marine ends up getting down the other end of the map. So that hatchery will slowly start to finish itself off here. That bunker should just have enough range on it, or at the very least allow him to back into it once the dogs get down there and try and fend off those few dogs and try and get the kill on that good old hatchery. So there we go. We do have ourselves some dogs coming on the map here. 4 dogs altogether, I do believe. So it should be fairly interesting to see how this is going to work out for him. Those 4 dogs will have to get down there, as he does know that the bunker is there, I think, anyways. Yes, he does, of course. So there it goes. It's going to go to work on there. A couple spine crawlers down. So very good move by getting the spine crawlers down. That would definitely help this out. SCV gets over there. It can run a little bit of repairing if it chooses to do so. And we are getting the 2nd and 3rd Marine coming down. So he's going to have a little bit of pressure here. And I don't believe he's going to have the dog count to do so. Or if he's going to elect to try and get the spine crawlers on the outskirts to fend it off rather than the dogs. So those dogs get accumulated up there. We do have 8 dogs at the bottom here. And we'll take a look here. 10 dogs altogether on the map. 3 Marines. And they're getting right in there, trying to take everything out that they can. They back off into their good old bunker here, the little safe haven. And the dogs, in the meantime, they're going to try and pick off the Marine that's trying to get in there, and they do so. So very well done there. We'll be able to pick off the rest that continue to flow down the map. There's a couple spine crawlers down. They're going to try and plant themselves right over next to that bunker here, try and go to work on the bunker, get it at least taken out so they can delay, or not delay, so they can get rid of this attempted delay on that hatchery here. Hatchery still hasn't got any drones out of it here, and there we go. Spine crawler has planted down 1. Second one's going to end up going down, forcing the repair out of him. In the meantime, he did end up getting down his command center, and we'll get the wall going, but does cancel it and decides that he's going to finish the wall properly and put the supply depot on the edge there. So very well done, but in the meantime there, loses the bunker and loses 1 Marine at the other end. And the dogs are trying to get in there. They're going to elect to go right into the mineral line here. Of course, gets that little bit of the wall off there, but no Marines on the other side of the wall. So he's going to elect to go right for the command center that's in the expansion. Command center will fly off more than likely here unless he chooses to get enough Marines out to try and fend this off. Has 1 Marine and 1 SCV come back across the other end of the map. He's going to try. He's not going to try at all to get him across here. He's actually going to pick that up and just leave it floating above him until he gets enough Marines to deal with these little bit of dogs on the map. No other dogs coming down to the other end here, so should easily be able to fend this off. But no, he's actually moving right back out. No, he is actually going to go try and attack those dogs. Or he might just be looking to look back and forth here with the 3 SCV and the 2 Marines, and they're going to try and get in there. Obviously, SCVs will be the brunt of the damage here. Try and take that while the Marines try and take the dogs out here. Still only 7 dogs on the map, so he's not looking to continue the pressure with these dogs, so we'll lose every one of those dogs quite easily with a little bit of micro. But does get the SCV kills, or at least he's trying to. No, cannot get the last SCV kill, but did get 1 or 2 there, so very well done. And we are going to start creep spreading and moving our good old spine crawlers across the map. We do get the gas going down. Both gases are actually going to go down on the natural, only 1 gas on the main, and he's going to get himself some metabolic boost as well. Does have the 1 Overlord scouting way over here. In the meantime, we are going to get ourselves a good old factory going down, and it's going to be Hellions is going to be the choice, and we are going to go with the tech lab. 2 tech labs actually going down here, and we'll get himself a 3rd barracks out as well, and even a 4th. Why not? So he's going to have 4 barracks down on the map. In the meantime, we are getting that 2nd gas at the main, and we are going to get ourselves into a double evil, pretty standard so far. So he's going to start to pump those upgrades. Creep spread slowly moving its way across the map. And we are going to get the couple of Hellions to fly across here and see what kind of damage they can do nice and early. So they're going to go right into here, see those dogs, and just go to work on the dogs here. So very well done there. A little bit of micro, runs them right over into these queens. And that'll be enough of his little antagonism maneuvers there. So it does get both spine cores down at the bottom of the ramp. It does have both queens at the bottom that'll easily fend off the Hellions that were there. But he's bringing in some reinforcing Hellions. So he's not pissing around at all in this game. He really wants to see what kind of damage he can do, or at least keep map control with these Hellions. So they're going to go back and forth here. I might even be waiting to get maybe 6 or 8 of them would be a fairly good count. But we'll soon find out what he's going to choose to do. There's another Hellion coming down as well. We do ourselves 5 Hellions on the map now. Probably have number 6 coming, I would have to imagine. No, just 5. So we're going to stick with the good old 5 Hellions. 6 Hellions, I mean. There you go. I can count. Then again, tractors can't count. But either way, I can try. So we are going to go with our 6 Hellions. They're going to go across the map here and see what kind of damage we can get done nice and early. Do have a lot of creep spread moving across that map here. So he's going to go to work on that creep spread. So very well done. The building creep spread anyways. And depends on, well, it gets rid of most of it there. It gets canceled on the other 2. So here we go. We're going to move ourselves back and forth, up and down, left and right. And we're going to go right back in there. He's going to try and basically distract those ones here so these other 5 can move in, or maybe not. Maybe he's just going to look to send 1 here, 1 there, 1 everywhere. Just try and keep his opponent distracted there. In the meantime there, he does have a pretty full wall off. Has a bunch of rocks he's trying to take down, so he can look to get that 3rd, or at least easier access to the 3rd. So he can get his Marines and whatever else he builds to go in between those. In the meantime there, he does have the medevacs coming out now, so could look to start getting into some drops. Make sure there's no expansion down there. Very good. Well done. Like I say, Hellions are very good for map control. They can kind of keep an eye out. They're very fast, give you an idea of exactly where your opponent is. If we take a look at the good old food count here, we are sitting at 86 to 86. There you go. We are nice and even. APM tab shows us that we are well over 100, so very well done there. These guys sitting pretty even so far. 9 roaches, 9 dogs on the map, to the 18 Marines, 5 Hellions, couple medevacs, and we also have an Overseer coming down as well. Double Evil is going to get herself a car place and a range, so it does look like Roach Hydra is going to be choice. There's the good old Roach upgrade for the Glial Reconstitution. I always forget how to say that, so I always have to read it. There you go. So we are going to sit back, relax for a little bit here, and get ourselves into the Hydras, of course. So there we go. So we'll be a Hydra Roach full-on build here. Very good choice for anybody, lower league or higher league. Hydra Roach is a very strong build. Does end up knocking down the big old rock wall to get that 3rd fended off quite easily with the good wall. And mules drop down. Orbitals are out. We are going to get ourselves another double barracks. So we're going into 6 barracks on the map here. Double engineering bay. And also the armory down as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what he's going to use the armory for. Could be looking maybe to get into some pretty sick looking Thors. Or might just be using it for upgrades there. So we'll try and get rid of as much of this creep spread as we can here. Dogs will try and fend this off. And once the roaches get there, that'll be enough to at least get rid of these Hellions. But he does have a few Marines in the background to try and help this out. So it might be looking alright. But no, he likes to get out of there. Probably a fairly good choice. I don't think he wants that engagement by no means there. In the meantime, his opponent has also got himself sitting on 3 hatchery. Gas is at every one. So looking to get into maybe a fairly heavy gas build. But Roach Hydra isn't a overly heavy gas build. But either way, it never hurts to have gas in the bank if you have the tech up from that point. So there we go. All the armies coming to the middle here. More Marines are coming in here. He's going to look put a little bit of pressure on here. Going at the creep spread here. Might get a trap on the queens here, but when they're on the creep, they move pretty darn fast, and they're not the easiest things to catch. I will tell you that. A lot of scans going down, so we can try to take out as much of this creep spread as he can. There we are. We're going to sit back here with our main army, and he is sitting on 1-1 for upgrades, so not looking too bad. Opponent should be about the same. 0-1 for now, but should be at 1-1 pretty quick here. And there we are. We're actually going to force a retreat out of his opponent here, but does have a couple Widow Mines in that army here, so Widow Mines will be very, very handy as well. Widow Mines never hurt, if you ask me. So there we are. We're going to move back right into the main base here. Accumulate as much of an army as we can. He is down 160, 124. The Zerg has a very skookum army, continuing that creep spread. 2-1 now for his upgrades, so looking fairly decent so far. Just working on the 1 starport here. Armory isn't doing anything as of yet, so should be fairly interesting to see if he elects to build out of that army. At least give him the option in the latter game if he needs to do so. So we are going to sit ourselves in about the middle of the map here. We're going to slowly move ourselves out here. There's the Widow Mines. Might get trapped, actually. Oh, that's not good at all. 3 Widow Mines go down. That didn't work out so well, and he's going to put some pressure on his opponent, forcing his opponent back into his base here. So very well done by Valon so far. Trying to get onto the high ground there. There's the scout. He's making sure he knows that the army's still there just in case. So they are going to try and push their way up here. Ends up taking out the bunker here. Just too much when he's on the high ground with that wall off here. So he's forced to back off here. It would be fairly good if he did choose to engage it there, but at the same time it could be fairly even. So might look to take out this wall here, or might just be looking to go back and forth here. And there we go. We are actually going to take out that wall here. Opponent trying to get down the supply depot for the vision here. But if you need the vision, it's right there, son. It's a great big hole. And here we go. We are going to try and move that army in there, but at the same time, the Terran army does end up getting in there, and too much of a choke point as far as the Roach Hydra army says. So Roach Hydra army will try and get around to the other end here and try and get right through the front end again. One more time, I would have to imagine. Or they might just look to hang out around the outside until they feel they have a good enough army and upgrades. They're almost at 200 food, 2-2 on the upgrades for him. His opponent, in the meantime, is sitting on 0 for the vehicle, but 1-1 for as far as his Marine Marauder army goes here. So there we are. We're going to try one more time here, sitting at advantage on the upgrades. Widow Mines are not buried. I have to imagine they're going to bury pretty quickly here, but doesn't like that engagement at all here. He's trying to back off here, and that is a lot of Widow Mine damage there going down. And actually killed one of the Widow Mines quite easily there with the Overseer. So he's going to try and go to work, try and get his way up that ramp. Don't know if he's going to have enough. That Marine Marauder on Stim is very deadly and not the easiest to deal with if you ask me. They're continuing to push, but at the same time, they still have a big advantage, 171 to 108. So they're looking pretty decent, but Valon says no, that is too much for him. 3 Overseers for him as well. So very good to have the Overseers, as he does know that the Widow Mines are on the map. So he will try and replenish himself back up to 200. Keeping the upgrades going, still at 2-2 though, but he should have 3-3 fairly quickly, I would have to imagine. Not yet actually, so no, does not have the 3-3 coming at all here. Scan goes down, and I'm actually kind of curious what this upgrade is here. Oh, the pathogen glands there, so he is actually looking to get the good old upgrade for his infestors. So we are going to go right into an infestor type build here, give them a little bit more energy, not going with any of the swarm hosts or anything like that. So it will be fairly interesting with the Roach Hydra slash Infestors. Infestors is always a good supporting unit if you're a good enough player to combine them with your Roach Hydras. So we are going to sit back here, both these guys relaxing on their minerals right now, trying to get that count up. Where are we sitting? Just 1 for the good old ground shield. So not overly heavy on the upgrades by no means. 1-1 for his attacking army here. Still has nothing out of the armory as far as we go so far. So I'm actually very curious if he's actually going to use the army for anything here, but he does have himself a siege tank down here. Might look to start getting upgrades, especially if he is going to go into a fairly heavy siege tank build. Creep spread is pretty immaculate by Valon, I will say that. Has most of the map covered off here. Does come over here, kills that SCV, give him an option to plant a hatchery down there as well. Has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatcheries on the map. Opponent sitting on 3 base. So fairly even so far. 3 Terran against 5 Hatch is probably pretty even on the income, I would have to imagine. Yes, you are. So there you go. Other than the gas count for Valon, which you did see is going to be quite a bit higher, sitting on the 5 Hatch. So we're going to sit back and relax. Very good on the medevac count. We'll say he does have 8 medevacs on the field here. Only the 1 tank, so not looking to get too heavy in the tanks. More or less looking for it for good defense on the wall here. Does have 5 Widow Mines total on the map here. Opponent's got himself up to 200. Valon says it's time to move in. He's going to try and put this pressure on. And there's the scan, so they do know where the army is here. Those Widow Mines will get themselves buried in. Here we go. The stim goes down. He's going to try and put the pressure on here. He's got to keep on that ramp there. That way he's got the choke point. Can't get fully surrounded here. And trying to lead him into those Widow Mines is exactly what he's trying to do. Not working out so well for him so far here. And they are pushing really hard here. This is not very good here. Valon's got a very big army. But with that stim going, like I say, that will give you a huge advantage here, and they're really going to go to work. Takes out one of the Widow Mines. Another Widow Mine ends up going off. They're pushing ahead here, but just too much with those Hydralisks there. But at the same time, the Hydralisks is too much for the Marine Marauder. They can't seem to get through there, so they really don't like that engagement. They're going to back themselves off. And the army almost evened itself out, 196 to 175. And here we are. We are going to pressure. So there we go. He's going to start pushing ahead. The Terran army looking a little bit better now. Almost up to 200 food. That's sitting at 180 right now. He's going to back off a little bit. They're going to go back and forth. He's going to go around the outside. There's a lot of Widow Mines. If he can get them down in a decent location, they are a game changer, especially with that amount of Widow Mines. That's 8 Widow Mines. They can do a ton of damage. And there they go down here. But of course, he does have the Overseers, so they will be able to scout that. And we'll start cleaning up the creep spread. Or maybe not. Does not want to clean up the creep spread. So he's actually going to back off a little bit. And now we might get a bit of an engagement as the army did split off here. Not very good, but does stim himself back into the army. And there's the Ultralisk. So we are going to go with Ultras. So this could be very, very scary. And the Widowmine does get one shot off there on the Overseer. Doesn't quite end up killing it. But that is a fairly decent Ultra count, sitting at the 5 Ultras. No upgrades for the melee as of yet, but does have the 2 armor that the Ultras do carry there. Once they do get their upgrade, I'm sure they'll be up to 4. If we take a look at the Proto tab, yes, you do see that extra upgrade coming for the Ultralisk to give them the extra 2 armor. So we are going to sit back for a little bit here and determine how we want to engage this, as he is back up to 200. Both these armies are pretty much at 200. It is 199 to 188, or 199 to 191, 194, and almost got ourselves fully maxed out for this attack. We're going to back ourselves off a little bit here. But in the meantime, it does look like a drop is going to start off here. We have one medevac full, 1 medevac empty. So not too sure why he's got the empty one, but I guess it'll be there for supportive healing. Could look to come down here. He does see the creep spread, so maybe knows that there is a base. Or he might actually look to try and get up into the main. Meanwhile, the opponent has a little bit of intuition of what is coming. So he is actually going to be there to fend that off. Spore Crawler there as well. So easily pushes them backwards. So they nowhere to get in, actually. I was kind of surprised. They're trying to get an Overlord killed. That's not going to go overly well. Overlord does end up getting out of there. And he's going to bring the whole army up here and try and keep those medevacs at bay. Meanwhile, the medevacs are in the very upper right-hand corner of the map. Can't get any further than that. Creep spread has pretty much covered the entire map. And there's that great big Marine Marauder army at 200. Valon sitting at 198. So both these guys ready to do the full-on engagement. There's the scan. There's the 6 million Hydras. They're at 3-3 upgrades. There's the 5 armor for the Ultras. And they're going to try and push ahead here. Still sticking with the 5 Ultras. Once he starts losing these good old Hydras here, I'm kind of curious if he'll get into maybe a heavier Ultra type build here. But there are the Widow Mines, so he knows that they're there. Oh, he forces them up and actually ends up killing most of them here. But at the same time, that Marine Marauder army is trying to take as much damage as they can. There's the Ultra, and there's going to get hit by all these Widow Mines here. But at the same time, he did take out most of the Widow Mines. He's trying to push forward. Not too sure if he's got enough, though. They end up backing off. That is a lot of Hydras, though. Pushes them all the way back. And it is going to start to engage one more time here. They're really looking to jockey for position here. But ends up actually getting a drop over here, which actually trying to take out a hatchery. So very well done by our good man, Valon and PrimeBityBit. Both of them looking pretty good back and forth. And we are going to back off here, says Valon. That's enough of this. Wants to get out of there, gets onto the creep spread, and that's where he's going to get his speed here. They do take the hatchery out, but the Terran army continuing to push forward. PrimeBityBit, he's not scared at all. He's pushing this army as much as he can there. Does get down the another stim, almost losing a lot of health on these guys with those stims, so he's got to get them all healed up here, get them back to full health. In the meantime, there he's fully saturated on all 3 bases, basically, so looking pretty good. Has a few siege tanks in the main, but they're basically looking to fend off that wall. Not really included in the army as of yet. Creep spread looking pretty good. He's pretty much 3/4 across the map, I would have to say. Starting to beat down the creep spread very easily. Queens are trying to get out of there. They're very fast in the creep, so they'll actually end up retreating here. They try to get the stim to catch up to him, but can't quite catch him fully. And here comes the army. They're trying to come back to try and fend this off. A lot of Overseers in the army. Make sure they can scout those Widow Mines anytime they need to do so. And there we go. We are down to, or no, actually we're up. Sorry, we're up to 7 Ultras. So we did get more on the Ultras. Has some Infestors as well. 4 Infestors on the map. And we are going to push ahead. Needs to get out of that choke point. But with the Terran army retreating like they are, that should be no problem at all there. So it does back them off there for a little bit. But could look to attack, especially with that great big meat shield he's got of Ultralisk there. But he is going to elect to stay off of this for a little bit. Maybe look to get a little bit of creep spread at the bottom. But the Infestor slowly whittles its way onto the other end of the map here. And we do have ourselves the good old 4 Ultras, or the 4 Infestors still with the 7 Ultras. The 4 Roaches and the massive 33 Hydras. There we go. Tanks are down. Now he's got the army he needs to try and fend off these ultras there. That's a lot of damage for those siege tanks. So it will be very interesting to see whether or not Valon chooses to engage at the front gate and whether or not he thinks he's got enough DPS to do so. We'll soon find out as we sit back for a bit. Both these guys riding very high mineral to gas count. Very surprising. You see that Terran on 3 base. They can really accumulate a lot when they're going Marine Marauder. A lot of money saved there. And the little bit of tanks that he did put in that army. 16 medevacs. That is a lot of medevacs on the map. And he is looking to get another expansion. Oh, that one's going to get delayed fairly easily as they're walking through that siege tank fire like it's not even there. Back and forth through the siege tank fire. Don't know if that was the best of choices there. There's the little bit of fungal growth going down. We'll end up taking out a lot there of damage on those, or a lot of hit points on those Marine Marauders. So there we are. We are looking to get out of there. Doesn't like that engagement at all, but does actually end up taking out a few of those ultras. So very well done by PrimeBityBit. And Valon's on full-on retreat now. Ends up getting right out of there, back to the other end of the map. And we will sit back and relax for a little bit until we get right back up to 200 as both these guys are going right back into their area of the map, I guess you can call it. So we're going to sit at the middle with Valon, and we're going to sit over at our good old 4th base for PrimeBityBit. PrimeBityBit. There we go. We are going to plant ourselves down one more command center. Hey, why not? We do have a ton of hatcheries on the map here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hatcheries. I do believe this is a hatch. Yes, it is. It is a macro hatch. And there we go. We're going to start pushing ourselves forward if we can. Still sitting on 4 ultras. We are putting some corruptors on the map, but they're getting in the broodlords, it does look like here. If I read that correctly. Yes, I did. So we do have broodlords on the map here. We do have 4 of them altogether. They're starting to warp in. So very good choice getting into the broodlords. They can be very, very deadly against any type of army on the ground. So we'll sit back until those broodlords get out, and then we'll probably push ourselves forward, or have to imagine. But look at that medevac count. Wowzer, that is ridiculous. 18 medevacs. He has more healing than he knows what to do with. He is scanning himself across the map here so he can continue to take out as much creep spread as he can. In the meantime, we have got a drop way down here, but the broodlord is over there trying to fend it off. Broodlord does get focused down fairly easily there. And we are going to jockey for position one more time here, but these guys are actually might end up getting killed in the hatch, but at the same time, he's got so much money in the bank, it's not going to hurt him at all. So we can ignore that attack for a little bit. But they are actually going to look to try and fend it off, so they are trying to get across the map to try and do so. But that didn't work out quite so well, and the medevacs do end up picking them up and will jet themselves out of there quite easily. So we're going to sit right back down here, remake our hatchery, and try and get that back up and running. Meanwhile, the opponent is content on sitting back at his main base. He did get right back underneath all those medevacs. Hatchery slowly building as fast as it can there. And we do have 5 broodlords on the map, so not too shabby on the broodlord count. Not getting any heavier on the broodlords, it doesn't look like, but 5 is quite a bit. It does take up a lot with those stupid little broodlings going at you. Stupid, only because I don't like playing Zerg. There you go. Nothing wrong with Zerg, I'm just not good with them and I don't like playing against them. So there we are. We're going to sit with our Marine Marauder army, head up and around the upper right-hand side of the map here. Take out as much creep spread as we can one more time. The other army's moving across. They do know exactly where that army is. That is a very high infester count as well. Does have himself 9 infestors on the map. So he will get up there, make sure he's all ready, get himself down one more hatchery. Does see the Reaper over there. Reaper doing himself a little bit of scouting. Does end up retreating out of there as he has to do so. Creep spread is right into his opponent's base. So creep spread looking pretty good. Does have himself down a nice old planetary in the old choke point. So very well done by PrimeBityBit. And ends up canceling one of the add-ons for the good old Stargate. And we are going to continue the jockey for position as we take out as much creep spread as we can. There's the scan going down. We'll try and kill all this off here. He does have his full upgrades as well. So all these guys fully upgraded. And now we're going to go at her. It does look like here as both these armies are head to head. Oh no, he actually stims and retreats. Terran does not want to go in against that army for some reason. They're more or less looking to knock down as many bases as they can, keep the opponent distracted, and try and find the right engagement, I'd have to imagine. There we are. Look at it. This is a wall, if you ask me. Walls are planetary. A couple of his good old turrets down as well. He's going to come up here, probably look to clean up this creep spread, get it out of his base, I would have to imagine. Or he might just be looking to go up around the upper right-hand corner of the map here. We'll soon find out. There he goes. He does get right up here. Just does see there isn't too much up there other than dissipating creep. And here we go. We are getting a little bit of engagement in the middle. And, oh, he's killing his SCVs, trying to get some more food. So very well done. Like I say, he's got such a high bankroll. Why not? You might as well waste it all on an army here. Here's the broodlords. They finally made their way across the map. But in the meantime, he is going to knock down the hatchery one more time, or at least attempt to do so. But the army's going to get here in time, and they will just go to work. Look at that ultra. Yum, 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 yum. Starts eating them all up there, forces them to get out of there, ends up taking out that medevac quite easily. So we will rinse and repeat one more time here as the Terran's going to try and go which direction this time. He's going to try and go right through the middle. He's had enough. Start knocking that creep spread down one more time here. So here we go. Creep spread's going down. army of the Zerg is going to continue itself right back into the middle here. Try and get the engagement that it wants. I don't know if it wants to engage in that choke point, but at the same time, he's going to let him right through the choke point. So here we go. He's going to push forward. Has a fair bit of ultras on the map here, sitting at 4. But like I say, went more heavy on the Broodlords here. So with the 5 Broodlords and the 4 Ultras on the map, he also has himself 9 Infestors. They're a very good supporting army. Does have the 1 Reaper over there. I guess he's not too worried about that here. And there's the big planetary wall. And here we go. Broodlings will definitely help this out. He's going to try and go to work. No, he's actually backing off a lot there. So he's back and forth. Infested Tyran didn't go down there. That didn't really help out too much. He's going to push forward. Valon might have the pressure he needs this time. Look at that fungal growth. Very good on the fungal growth. Does end up taking out most of that. One of the planetaries ends up going down. Second one's going to go down shortly behind it. But at the same time there, that is a lot of DPS happening on him. He ends up losing most of his army. He is down 175, well, 171 to 160. Trying to push forward, but those siege tanks on the upper ground are doing a lot of damage. Broodlords are caught out of position. This isn't good. Needs to get the army over there to support those Broodlords. Another good fungal growth going down. So very good job on this fungal growth so far. They're trying to push ahead as far as they can. There's a lot of siege tanks. There's the Broodlords finally getting in on the siege tanks here. Still go to work on all these siege tanks. Once the siege tanks go down, it's going to be great big trouble for PrimeBityBit. And this is not good at all here. Lots of Broodlords in the back here. You got 3 of them left, but that is a lot when you have a lot of supporting Hydralisks and Ultralisks on the map here. So they're really pushing ahead as hard as they can. Look at them go. Lots of Hydras doing a ton of damage here. Broodlords are being more than annoying sitting in the back. And they might actually be able to push ahead here. It's 199 to 136. Might have this game in the bank. It's going to be very, very close. Vikings are on the map. They're trying to take out the Broodlords, and they're not doing that bad of a job, actually. Fairly decent. Trying to get that food count back to even. Trying to get rid of these Hydralisks here. But there's just so much pressure coming in with the Hydralisks. It isn't looking good at all. He's still got the 1 Reaper attack. And look at the reinforcing Roaches, though. Very good choice to get into the Roaches. Does end up retreating a little bit, but he's waiting until the Roaches get up there so they can try and support this army, and lots more Hydras coming with him. So he is going to push himself up ahead here, make himself slowly into the opponent's natural, and there we go. Lots of moving Marines there. Not too sure why he had him on the move command, but either way there, this is great big trouble. Does end up melting down that army, and that should be GG, or it should be just quit. Well, my congrats to you, Valon. My condolences to you, PrimeBityBit. Very good game. And I will leave you with this. If the groundhog ain't out by the time it's winter, make sure the icicle ain't hanging down, especially when you're drinking your coffee. Thanks so much for watching. You be good. Don't hurt nobody. Peace.